You're good.
All right.
Cheers. 3, 2, 1.
Cheers.
Go.
There
Let's
we
rock.
go. Today's guest
Energy.
is someone who turned pain into purpose and passion into a platform. He's recently crowned a new Gymshark 66 athlete. I have Kyle Massi here with me today, who is full transparent online. He chose his story of growing up in a single mother household with his younger brother. He has lost a close friend in high school due to suicide. He's very open about it and how it has shaped him into the man that he is today because of it. And he has manifested the Gymshark athlete more than 5 years ago, and we are going to dive into all of it today. This episode is about mindset, loss, vision, and chasing a dream before anyone else even knew that it existed. Kyle?
It's a great intro.
Thank you. I
Wow.
appreciate that, dude. I mean,
I'm just sitting here like honored, like, wow, like, I guess this is actually my life. This is pretty cool hearing all this.
Well, you created it, dude. So
Yeah.
this is going to be a super awesome episode. I say that, I feel like every time so far I've said that.
As you
but
should. That's a great intention.
A lot of people have really already loved Chaz's episode, and
Yeah.
you two are one and the same, two peas
Agreed.
in a pod. Absolutely the same type of energy.
It's my dog.
Wholesome. I mean, just oozing positivity to the max.
Have to, baby.
So, how are you feeling today?
First and foremost, I just want to say shout out to the boy Ty, man. Thank you for having me on. Something I always told him is that I love being a part of someone's like beginning phase. And I remember when you just opened this place up in your spot and we're getting all the IVs going. I was one of the first people that you reached out to. And I told you right then and there, just off camera in this room, that these little things like this, I cherish. And I just very much so just want to let you know that I don't take it for granted. And I appreciate you being so hospitable, creating such a dope environment, welcoming, and allowing me to be one of the first people on your podcast doing this. And, dude, I'm fired up. I couldn't be more thankful to be here, guys. Let's get it. It's Monday. It's a great day to have a great day. And I'm with my boy, man. And we're just going to let it rip. So let's get it. I'm good, man.
Yeah.
How are you?
I can't complain. Everything's great. Business is going well. We're growing slowly but surely.
That's right, baby.
Got a lot of good people in my corner. So
Yeah.
for the people that don't know you,
Yes, sir.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
You know, what was life like growing up? The early signs of getting into the fitness space and how that became something more than just a hobby for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those of you who are watching this that don't know me, it's so nice to meet you. My name is Kyle Massi. I am a man who loves helping people unlock their full potential. I'm just a regular dude, just like everyone else in this world, no better than anyone, but I just have a huge passion for uplifting and inspiring as many people as I possibly can through my actions and words, because I know what it's like to be on the opposite spectrum of that, and it's not a great feeling. So a little bit about me. I'm a huge health nut, if you guys haven't seen. I mean, caffeinated up. I got an IV in here. I got the Whoop on, beef tallow on the face, on the skin. I got the Mountain Valley water in me, a lot of salt, Celtic sea salt. So I love everything involving health. It's helped my life tremendously, helped my brain. In addition to that, I just love fitness. I love being able to push myself as much as I possibly can. I love being able to help others do the same. And I'm just a very creative person. I have a bunch of different passions. I love getting in front of the camera. I love being behind the camera. I love creating something for myself and others. And I just freaking love helping people get fired up about life again. You got to have a little zest. And I feel like right now more than ever, people don't have zest. And even on the days where I feel like I don't have any juice or any zest, I feel like it's actually my mission to try and show up in the best way that I possibly can, because I know that someone out there can benefit just from my energy. So if I'm able to just put more into myself that I can give to another individual that can help them have a more productive day, more meaningful day, I did my job, no matter how small, how big.
I'm glad you touched on that, because that's something that I want to dive into a little bit more and handling that, because you are high-strung energy, positivity, passion all of the time. Every time I see you, it's not just a facade for you. It is something that you are 24/7. So we'll dive into that a little bit more. Let's start with Where did the fitness journey start for you? Where did you even get involved with fitness? Like, how'd that go for you?
So when it comes to fitness, I've always been an athlete, but growing up, I've been a hard gainer. Now I believe that that's a limiting belief. I'm huge into everything involving like your mind and your subconscious mind and what you tell yourself you do become. But for the longest time, I really couldn't gain any weight. And I was very insecure when I would go to school, just like most of us. You know, there's people that are overweight.
I'll say I was on the opposite end
exactly.
of the spectrum.
And it's just as hard, you know.
Yeah.
But me personally, on the outside, it might have seemed like I was okay because I had a bunch of friends in school. I guess I was a part of like the popular groups, whatever. But on the inside, I was very weak, fragile, frail, and I would hide a lot. And I would try and cover up my insecurities. Like, for example, I would always wear long, baggy shirts to school. I would always wear hoodies. I was always afraid to, like, push myself in the gym because I didn't want people to see me. But I was very skinny growing up.
Yeah.
And it did a whole lot to me and pushed me back so much to the point where, like, I was, like, literally self-conscious about even just wearing a T-shirt. Or if you were to be invited to, like, a pool party with some of your friends, you were just so in your head about taking your shirt off. And, like, I'd, like, wear a long-sleeve shirt, you know? So it's just, like, wasn't a good feeling. So I experienced all of that throughout middle school, throughout high school, and I was a big athlete. I played baseball my entire life. That was my huge, like, number one passion. I thought that I wanted to go pro, D1, was really committed to the sport. And then one day I realized that it just wasn't necessarily what I really wanted to do in life. So I decided to take a step back and stop playing baseball in 11th grade. And that was one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do because I thought that was my identity at the time.
Yeah, you were so committed to it for so long, you knew no different. So, like,
absolutely,
that was a huge part of your personality and having to
rip it apart.
Come to terms with that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I stopped playing baseball, and then I tried figuring out, like, who I was, and I thought I wanted to be a doctor because growing up, I've always just wanted to help people, as we touched on. So I thought that I wanted to go to medical school and be a doctor. So I decided to double up on all of my classes. I dropped my lunch. I took all AP classes, all honors classes, and just tried pushing myself as hard as I possibly could in school to try and figure out the doctor thing. But again, I'm going to tie this back into the whole fitness thing because I realized that I didn't want to be a doctor. I just wanted to be a doctor for the title just because it sounds cool, but that wasn't really what I was passionate about. So after all of that frustration and just trying to figure out who I am, what it is that I want in my life, I somehow circled to the gym. And I just went one time and I became absolutely obsessed just with the feeling, being able to just see myself in the mirror grow a little bit bigger. It really did something to me. And day after day after day, that's just all that I thought about was just how can I get stronger in the gym? How can I get my friends in the gym? How can I make people feel the way that I feel about this and being able to see this physical progress firsthand?
Yeah.
And so I just kept showing up every single day. And I remember my senior year, that's when I got really hooked. And I grabbed all of my friends and I was like, yo, you guys are coming to the gym with me. We're going to get as strong as we possibly can, push each other as much as we possibly can, and we're just going to see what happens. And from there, it led me here. And I just became obsessed. And then from the gym, it went into bodybuilding. And then bodybuilding went to powerlifting. And then into a little bit of calisthenics, and it just kept on progressing and progressing and progressing. Just like, how much more can I learn? How much more can I evolve into this person? And so now we're here, man. And I just love seeing how hard I can push myself in all areas of life. And the one thing that I was always able to do was push myself very hard physically. So that's just why I love training, bro.
I think it comes naturally too, especially for you being like an athlete. Like, it's one of those things where it's like you're just already in that space of knowing it's just something that's more comfortable to push from a physical aspect. I think the like your mind muscle connection with it, the feelings that it elicits, it just makes it, like you said, you go in and it's like going in can be hard some days.
A lot of the
But
days, man.
when you get there and then you're done, or like you're in the middle of the lift, you're like, God, like I feel great. Like
You
there's
do.
not much of a feeling like it.
You do. And to add on to that, I feel like a lot of people who experienced hardships in their life, they're able to really resonate with that, because the gym is like the one place where you can go and you can let out all of your frustration, anger in a safe way. You're not doing any harm to any individual. You're not causing anything wrong in society. You're just going to a safe place and you're letting out a lot of smoke and emotion. And for me, that was a really big part of why I would go to the gym, because I was just a very frustrated kid growing up. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people will never understand how much pain I went through growing up to become this light as a person. And that's why I always preach going to the gym or just doing some form of physical activity, because we all have our vices.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that all of us go through and feel and just bottle up every single day. And it's not good to keep all that in. If you can just go, let it out, you really do come out a completely different person, and it can actually change the entire trajectory of your day, then your week, then your entire life. It really does add up. So that's why I always was obsessed with going to the gym, because I was very frustrated and I didn't have anywhere to take that anger out at.
Outlet.
So I just was like, I'm just going to go to the gym and push myself as hard as I can, because it makes me feel better afterwards. And I don't want to continue feeling the way that I do before I go into the gym.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you feel for you that the gym, not necessarily for say, was something that kind of helped hide those emotions? Do you think that they were more something for you that at first, like it was a suppression, or right from the bat for you, it was a way to immediately release? Was it more you using the gym to mask those emotions because you had no other way to get them out? Or was it more just from the jump something that this just allowed me to kind of bring a calm to the storm?
I think at first it allowed me to just bring a calm to the storm, because when you're young, you're pretty ignorant. I mean, I'm still ignorant. We're all ignorant. None of us are perfect.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But you don't know why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. You're not as aware. You're not as self-conscious as you are when you grow up and you get older and you understand your tendencies. So when I would go, at first it just was, it definitely was like a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
It was a Band-Aid for sure. And I can definitely see how you need to be aware of that and recognize your patterns, because you can't just depend on doing something physical to stop you from feeling the way that you really do feel inside. There's definitely a lot of internal work that needs to be done, which is definitely not talked about enough.
What does that look like for you? Because as you said before, it was, a Band-Aid. You were able to acknowledge the feelings in a sense. Like you kind of knew that they were there, but in the beginning you never knew how to describe them. Whereas now, like from the things that you put out online, how open and honest you are, the conversations you and I have had, you do a very good job of like reflecting on current and past you. So both in general. What does that process look like for you? How did you get to where you are now in dealing with that outside of putting the Band-Aid over it, as you said?
I think awareness is the first step. Understanding how you're feeling. Just understanding that you feel a certain way and recognizing it and being okay with yourself feeling that way. But then you have to take action to allow yourself to not feel that way. So when you asked me that question, the first word that came to my mind was forgiveness. Okay. Forgiveness for yourself. So you have to be aware, or at least just speaking in my own personal experience, because that's all that I can ever speak on, really, being aware and then allowing myself to forgive for how I was feeling, so that way I could move on, right? So for me, I had a lot of resentment towards my father growing up because he was never in my life, and I just couldn't grasp why one person would do something the way that he had done to my mom and my younger brother and myself our entire lives. But then you understand, like, you begin to realize that it's not necessarily the person, it's what happened to the person in their life, which made them act the way that they're acting. So that's what I mean when you have like the awareness. So it's like you're recognizing more, and that definitely takes time. Mm-hmm. So forgiving yourself for having an emotion towards a situation or an individual person, and then trying to go a little bit deeper and finding like forgiveness for the other person because of how they were raised as well.
Yeah.
And that definitely has allowed me to take huge strides in all areas of my life, because none of us are perfect, bro. We all go through hardships, and I do believe at the end of the day, we're all just trying our best to be the best that we can. Yeah. So it's not necessarily the person, it's what happened to the person that made them be the way that they are today. And that's helped me unravel those emotions a little bit more.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's beautiful. I actually was listening to, I don't know if you know who Alex Hermosi is.
Of course.
Yeah, so he was talking about that actually with his mom, where he said, you know, he would see his grandfather at the nursing home for a very long time, and like his grandfather would like be, you know, apologizing for all the things he's done, tell like Alex all the stories, and like it kind of made Alex realize, you know, like you said, taking that step back to be like, wow, like my mother went through all of this, like,
yes,
I get it.
Yes.
And I forgive you.
Yes.
Like, you're good. And
yes.
that brought that peace to him the same way that you kind of said, where it was like, at one point in time, it was anger and resentment because how could you act this way?
Yeah.
And then turning that into a more positive emotion of like, I don't have to hate you for what you did.
It's true.
You know, it's tough, and I wish better for you, but I also still forgive you because you dealt with things that I never did. And it's like, I can never relate to that.
And people don't understand how holding on to that and bottling up all of that emotion and anger, it's actually just hurting them more. So if you can allow yourself to find it in you to forgive someone for anything that they did to you, you're going to begin to realize that it's only helping you. And by not allowing yourself to do that, it's just halting you and your own feelings and emotions. And as hard as forgiveness is, man, you got to do whatever it is that you can to try and find it, because it's only going to allow you to take a step further. Truth.
How do you stay like in that positive frame of mind? I want to jump into that now. I feel like this would be a good way to segue into that. How do you keep such a positive mind through negative emotions, through tough times? You know, even now, like with you just being more tired, you're pushing yourself, you know, you're getting ready for a competition. Like you have the same energy all the time. You may verbalize, damn, I'm tired. But it's like you still feel the energy when you come in the room. You're like, oh, Kyle's here. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
So how do you keep that energy, the positivity?
Man, if I'm going to be completely honest, it is a constant practice, and it is something that I have to remind myself every single day. It's not just something that I can just embody that person. Like, I'm working on getting to the point where that's just who I am, but almost in a sense, like, I have to psychologically convince myself that I'm feeling this way, right? Like, if I'm tired, I'll just be in my car and I'll just be like, I have unlimited energy. I have unlimited energy. And I'll just spam affirmations over and over and over again. And your subconscious mind picks up on that, and it just begins to like rewire. Your brain begins to rewire. And then you're like, okay, like, you know what? Like, I'm good. And then the same thing with gratitude, right? It's just like reminding yourself, like, dude, I'm alive. There are people that are in such worse positions than myself. What is it that I'm not grateful for today? Like, I have food on the table. I get to have an amazing conversation with a great friend. We have a beautiful, safe place that we live in. There's so many people around us that care for us and love us. You know, it's actually not so bad after all. It's all just like up here. It's just a state of my mind. So to answer your question, it's it's a constant practice that I have to wake up, reframe. I don't have to wake up. I get to wake up and choose.
I love that.
I get to wake up and I get to choose to be grateful and count my blessings and spam affirmations so that way I can feel that way, because it's so easy to just wake up and feel like the world is out to get you and just go through the motions and do the same thing over and over and over again. But it doesn't have to be that way, and it starts with you. And something that really helps me when I'm low, tired, when I feel like I have nothing more to give, is I just think about the other people in the world that I could help, even if it's just one person. I feel like that's my mission here in life, is to just make other people smile and feel better. And I just try living through God's plan for me. Seriously, that's just what I try doing every single day. So just trying to be a lot more selfless and not so selfish, I'm able to find a little bit more zest. I'm able to find one more rep in the gym. I'm able to smile at that person if I'm just walking down the street, or if someone drops trash on the side of the road, I'm just able to go grab that and pick that up because I'm positively making an impact somewhere. But it's just getting out of your head and understanding that the world doesn't revolve around you. There's a bunch of other people here that can benefit from you and your actions as well. Mm-hmm. And yeah, just thinking about the others always humbles me and always allows me to tap into that a little bit more.
I will say, and not in a bad way, it is a little bit selfish to have that intention, right? Like you
definitely is.
You know what I mean? And not from a bad place. Like I think a lot of people, you know, online probably see some of your content and they hear that and like they're like, all right, but you're still being selfish and you're doing, you know what I mean? It's like, well, at the end of the day, is it really selfless because you're doing it with the intent of making yourself feel better? And I guess my statement to that is like, so what? Like, at the end of the day, like, what's your point? Because even if it is from a selfish standpoint, like, you still did something good today. Like you said, I picked up some trash. Did it make me feel good? Even if the true intention behind it was for me, like at the end of the day, you're still helping other people. You're just making an impact. So like to people out there that have that negative frame, that would just be my way of reframing that, because I see that a lot. And especially like with some of your content, I'm sure you've dealt with it, people posting where it's, you know, there is some, maybe not resentment, but just some negativity around like, this is a front. You're doing this. You're doing, you know, you're just doing it because you look good, and then it makes you look good, and so now you feel good, and it's like, are you really being selfless? Yeah, but I hear you on that. At the end of the day, it's like, what does it matter? Like,
and also, the more that you put into yourself, the more you're going to be able to give to another person. Yes. So that's just my response to that. There's a quote that says, your perception of me is a reflection of yourself. So life is just one big mirror. Yep. If you feel full, happy on the inside yourself, that's how you're going to see everyone else around you. That's how you're going to see the entire world around you. But if you feel incomplete and miserable yourself on the inside, you're going to see the worst in everyone and everything, and you're going to think that life is out to get you and it's happening to you and not for you. So give more to yourself so that way you can see the good in everyone and everything, because there's a whole lot of it.
I love that. That's damn. I love the quote all the way to the end there, like spot on. How do you deal with, I mean, you have such a positive outlook, so it's so hard to say, but I mean, do you have moments where, especially through social media with you posting, like you get those comments, how do you handle that? Has any of them stuck with you? I mean, has there ever been one that you had to like really reflect on for a while?
Off the top of my head, no. Because I just try moving fast and I try taking more action and I try not living in the past. So even if someone were to say something, it doesn't exist anymore. It already happened. So I just have to focus on the now, or else I'm actually living in the past, which is not doing me any good at all. But
that was great.
If I always say, like Ty, I would just always say, at the end of the day, if you know who you are as a person and you know that your intentions are pure, what anyone else has to say about you, think about you, does not matter. I know who you are as a human. I know who you are as a person. You're an awesome, awesome individual. So if someone were to say something completely different, that wouldn't change the way I view you at all, because I know your intentions are pure and I know you're doing everything in your power to help the world. So that's all that matters to me. Yeah. And the same thing with what I put out online. Like every time I post something, my intentions are just to help one person or 1 million. You know, that's the goal, is to reach as many people as possible at all times. But it's not in my hands at that point, because those people are going to be there regardless.
Yeah.
And even if people are commenting negative things, and even if people are perceiving you in a way that you don't necessarily like, they're doing their part in this world. And you can't be mad at them, because they're doing their part. And that's just a part of their process.
They're just having a moment.
That's it. Yeah, but to go back to what you said, yeah, man, there's definitely a lot of times where I get self-conscious about what I'm posting. And I think that it's very normal too. But one thing that I always remind myself is, if I am feeling hesitant about posting something or saying something, I know for certain that I need to do it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, go even harder, double down, you know, press post with a capital P, press post, because there's something that's blocking me from doing something that I want to do, that I know that I need to do, and I need to just get that out of me, man, because it shouldn't be there, but it's natural. But you have to persevere, and you have to get through that. It's like there's an angel on one shoulder, and then there's like the devil on the one shoulder. It's like when you're going to share something that you really want to share, who are you going to listen to? Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, you know what, I'm going to listen to the good shoulder today, and just boom, press post. And you begin to see it's like it's a little bit more easier over time.
I respect the leaning into discomfort with it.
You have to.
Especially, you said, for someone, I mean, obviously you move day to day, like you said, but a lot of people will see your content and think, oh, this guy's no problem. He's comfortable all the time. So it's nice to see that vulnerability of, you know, you've gained a large following. You are a Gymshark athlete for the level of content you put out, and you're still like,
dude,
I'm uncomfortable at times.
And I'm going to be completely honest. Like, I've never even like shared this publicly, but again, a huge intention of mine is to be an open book, because the people I look up to are open books, and they share the raw, the real, the vulnerability. Mm-hmm. And I want to be that person. So to be completely honest, when I achieved the Gymshark sponsorship, I absolutely had like an ego death. Mm-hmm. And I was in my head so much. And there's so many days where I still am in my head. I'm just like, am I deserving of this? Is this really who I am? Because you start to compare yourself to other people. And that has been a really difficult thing for me to navigate over the past 3-4 months, because I know where my potential is, and I know the man that I see myself being able to become. And the fact that I'm not there just yet, even after achieving like that big title
milestone,
it makes you second guess everything, and you start comparing your progress to other people's progress, and you start getting in your head about your own mental self-image, which is really hard. And that has been a huge thing for me to like navigate and try to find, because you have to, like, if you want to be seen by millions of people, you have to be okay with being seen by millions of people. And that's why I always preach, just be yourself, bro. Because what's going to happen when you achieve that success and the spotlight is really on you, and then you have to what? Then be someone who you're not?
Yeah.
I can't live like that. No way. So that's why I'm just like, this is who I am. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Because I know that I'm going to get there. I know, bro. We're all going to have hundreds and thousands, millions of people that tune in and support us. Why would I hide who I actually am? That's going to make the entire process so much more difficult.
Yeah, it's not sustainable.
No,
you're being somebody
dude.
that you're not. And I think a lot of content creators, people online looking to make changes, they're spreading awareness, whether it's, through social media, being an influencer, their businesses, just like whatever the case may be. You see all the time those people that get caught, and a lot of times it's not even intentional, but they get caught in a certain persona because that's where their content started, and then they die off because you said it's just like, I'm not being my raw self, or they have a big flip in their content all of a sudden. It's like, oh, this is now the real you, because you're figuring that out for yourself. And I do appreciate your mentality around, you're not going to please everyone.
No, you
Somebody's
can't.
not going to disagree with you, but if I'm helping at least one person, then it's all that matters. And that's going to go a long way for you as you do grow more within your content, within you as a person.
Yeah.
You have more eyes on you, because at the end of the day, it's just a numbers game, and that's kind of what I'm realizing is the more eyes you have on you, the more differing opinions you're going to have.
Definitely.
And
it's inevitable.
the thought process of, I just simply live life in a way that person would not prefer, and that's okay. And they probably live life in a way that I wouldn't prefer, but as you said, I don't have to judge them for it. They're still doing plenty of things that are probably beneficial to society and just the people within their circle.
And
so why am I going to be upset?
You nailed it. And also, there's so many people on this earth. You're going to find your tribe.
Yeah.
Your people are out there. Just because you don't have them just yet doesn't mean that they're not out there yet, bro. Your people are there for you, and not everyone's gonna like you, and that's just the reality of it. But that's completely fine, because there's so many people that are out there that are waiting to find you, that can benefit from you. You just have to keep pushing, so that way you can get yourself to get to those people. And I believe that it all starts when you're ready as an individual. And I think that's one of the coolest things about social media is oftentimes you see people achieve success when they're stepping into their true, authentic self. And there's almost like a tangible energy force that comes behind it that people just can radiate behind the screen or behind the camera, which is why I always talk about the importance of prioritizing how you feel on a day-to-day basis if you're going to do something like this and try to be in front of people online or on TV or anywhere in life, because people are going to be able to pick up on your aura and how you feel. When you become an aware individual, more likely than not, you can tell who someone is just by what you see them post or just by what you see them put out. Not from a judgmental standpoint, but you can tell if someone's happy with themselves and if they mean well, and then you can definitely tell the otherwise. So work on yourself for that.
Let's say people are getting with social media, people are becoming extremely, what's the word I'm looking for? Extremely, I guess, just good at filtering out the BS, as you said, right? It's just, you're able to tell when people are putting on that front, and it may not even be intentional. So I want to ask you, how do you deal with that on the days that you're having bad moments? How do you, because you're very open and raw and honest in a lot of your content. Do you lean into it? Are you just kind of hey, I'm having a bad day, and here's me having a bad day? Do you ever had a moment like that? Do you feel like that's something, because you talk about a lot of open things that are very deep.
I do. And I try to, because I realize that that's something that's lacking, and authenticity is lacking now more than ever. Integrity is lacking now more than ever. Now that you say that, it makes me, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, man, I can do a better job at being more open and being more honest when I'm not having the best day. Because when you're someone who is known for bringing the energy and bringing the positivity and the passion and the power at all times, you get in your head when it's not that way. So hearing you say that actually is inspiring me to be more vulnerable and to be more open and honest, because the world needs that.
Yeah.
You know, and someone might be able to come to terms with how they're feeling on a bad day. And there are no bad days, but a character testing day, a character building day.
And they reframe.
Yeah,
You're doing those throughout the entire podcast. Yeah. I will say, I'm going to try some way to get a compilation of just all the moments where you are reframing on the spot. That is an amazing tip. Guys, pay attention to that. Kyle's been doing that the whole time. He will continue to do it.
I will. It's all reframe.
That is a great practice for you. I'm sorry to cut you off there.
It's all good. It really is a great.
You've done it multiple times.
Yes, I have.
Was like, dude,
and I'm very aware. I'm very aware. I'm working on getting to the point where that's not even coming out of my mouth. But the fact that I'm aware of me saying these things and then reframing it means that progress is being taken.
Yeah. So no, I guess, yeah, I kind of was talking about to Chaz about the same thing though.
Oh, really?
About what we were saying, where it's hard because it's not that you,
it's really hard.
It's not that you don't, like, you guys are so open and raw and authentic already, right? But it's just hard because it's like when you're having the bad days, the last thing that you're thinking about doing is posting. You're taking that time to take care of yourself. So it's not even from a place of like you're trying to be fake. It's just like
true.
You're reflecting. I'm having a bad day. I don't have the energy to put out content about me having the bad day.
That's true.
And so then unfortunately it almost looks like you are, even when you're trying to be open and honest, it's like it's so hard not to.
Yeah.
You're so hard to always show every little moment.
Yeah. That's so real that you said that, because in those moments you don't want to show it just as of yet, because you're still working through the emotions and you're still working through how you're feeling. So for me, I'm a big reflector. Mm-hmm. So I'm able to process things after the fact, then I'm able to like share it once I work through it. Excuse me. When it comes in the actual process of it happening, it's more difficult to capture as much as I would like to, but to just put your phone down or put your camera down and just be like, man, today's been kicking my butt.
It also feels fake too, I'm sure. In a sense. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
dude.
Now I'm taking out the time to point out that I'm having a bad day. I think it's such a tough one.
Yo, that is so real, and I can relate to that because I'm someone who almost doesn't want to accept it.
Yeah.
When I am getting my butt kicked.
Yeah. And then by posting it, you're almost unintentionally
you're identifying with it more, and you're giving it more power. Yes. At least that's what I think about when I do that, which if there's any reason why I don't, it's because I don't want to identify with that, because I know that I'm giving it more power. But again, in order to actually work through your emotions and process how you're feeling and get over it, you can't do that because then it has more power over you actually. So maybe what the best thing to do is maybe accept it, recognize it, and if your intention is to share how you're working through it, be vulnerable and capture yourself in the moment. Just be like, hey, I'm not feeling the greatest right now. I usually reflect over this and come back to it, but I just want to let you guys know that I'm not, today's not really my day. And I don't want to give that much power, and it doesn't make me feel good. My ego's taking a hit right now, but I think this is what I should do.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate having these conversations because my brain has just been, I don't know what is in this thing. I don't know if it's the caffeine. Yeah. It's like a time portal in here, man. There's just so many things that are just processing through my mind as we speak. And I'm just getting so many ideas, which is why I think that it's so cool to have someone who you can go to challenge you and ask you these tough questions, you know? Yeah. So like, what's your thoughts on that? How would you process that? And how would you go about that as a man too? Because this is something, again, stigma. As a man, you can't show your emotions, but as you work through it, you begin to realize that you need to, and that's actually what masculinity is. It's not good to bottle up your emotions and run away from them. Like, to be a man is to be someone who owns how they're feeling and not let it own you.
For sure. Yeah, in my early game of making content, it's a struggle, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for all those reasons we talked about, one, you're just uncomfortable as hell as it is.
Yes,
You're like,
bro,
dude,
it's so
like,
uncomfortable.
talking to the camera to yourself with nobody around is weird. Like, even the first episode I did with Chaz, like, for the first, like, 20, 30 minutes, I was so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I wasn't being me.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to get more comfortable with it, where it's like, okay, you know, we follow a little bit of something that we want to talk about, things that we want to touch on so that the viewers can see from your life. But also keeping it like a normal, like if this wasn't on right now, this is just us. Like, it's just us talking. This is just conversation.
Yeah.
So that part has been difficult, and just it's a practice for that side of it. I'd say the harder thing is, like I said, where we were just touching on, where it's like, I want to be raw, I want to be honest, I want to be open, but there's a lot of conflict to it because, one, as a man, like you said, it's like I don't want to look like a bitch.
Yeah.
Just call a spade a spade.
Spade a spade.
And then more so, just as we were saying, it's I don't want to bring acknowledgement to a bad thing, but I want people to see it, to know that, like, hey, like, it happens to everybody. Because in the same way, for your content, like, I know you on a deep level. So it's like, you know, like, we've connected more, you tell me more, or we just have the conversations that aren't on camera.
Yeah.
Whereas people that perceive you on camera, it is
100,000
positivity.
Yeah.
Like, even when you are raw and authentic and you put out the harder stories that you discuss on your page, there's still a part of it that's like unintentionally always going to be filtered.
Yeah.
And not like with a bad intent, but it just is. It's not that raw moment. You're never going to be able to capture that raw moment of like you actually sitting in the mud. And being upset about it.
People don't, and it's like, how do you even capture that when you're feeling not the greatest?
Yeah.
You don't even have the energy or the capacity to do that. It's not realistic unless the camera's just recording all day 24/7 and it's capturing those moments.
And even if I feel like that, you're, you know, unintentionally you're putting on a performance. And I said that, you know, even now, not that our conversation isn't real, it's not authentic, it's not you and me having conversation, but like, we are still curated. We're going, you know, we're going through certain things. Like, we're intentionally talking about certain things. I'm speaking in a certain way, knowing that people are going to be watching it. And not that I would say anything differently, but it's like I created it in a way where, people are going to see it with certain things. There's specific things that we want people to see. So it's like you said, you're having that ego death of like, oh God, like, am I being me? Like, am I really being myself? How can I maintain my authenticity during these conversations? I think it's just a constant battle. It's just like you said, at the end of the day, if you can be honest with yourself, you can be passionate about how you're feeling, you can respect yourself, and you know that you're attempting to be. You're not always going to be 100% in being yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, 20 years from now, you're not going to be the same Kyle. You're going to be somebody completely different. So it's just kind of balancing the two of, this is where I am at right now, and these are the thoughts that I'm having, and I am also honest and open and knowing that that could change. 5 years from now, I may not agree with the statement I just made today. So those are some of the things that I think I'm struggling with early on in putting out and producing content, especially for the podcast portion. Talking to you guys and everything.
Well, I just want to let you know that this has been a free-flowing conversation. I think that you've been doing an incredible job, and I know that we're always our harshest critics. But to be this early on and for you to have done everything that you've done with the space and how fluently you're talking and how comfortable you have made me feel this entire time, I just want to let you know that you're doing a great job. And I genuinely mean that, because sometimes all it takes is someone acknowledging what you're doing. And that can go a really long way, which is why I always try giving that out as much as I possibly can, because I know how much that helps me, just being able to have just like some social proof or social recognition for yourself. It goes a really long way. And speaking from experiences, when I reached 10K this past year on Instagram, that was one of like the biggest moments in my career, because that was confirmation that I'm not crazy. And yeah, it might be a minute number compared to other people or where I see myself eventually getting to, but to do something for as long as I've been doing it without any recognition, without any acknowledgement, it can crush you. But to just have that little social proof, it's like, wow, okay, like if I can do this if this person acknowledges my efforts, if this person's saying this about me, that means that I got to be doing something right, man.
Yeah.
I got to be doing something right, and it's only a matter of time. And you can grab that and you can run with it, and it goes a huge way. Like I preach that social recognition. Like I'm sure you creating this space and like actually creating the Instagram and then having people post about it, you know, like there's moments where you're like, okay, man, yeah, like,
oh, it's so surreal.
I feel good. I feel good. I can do this, you know?
Yeah, it's so surreal for sure. There's moments where I'm like, dude, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I'm flying by the seat of my pants. Like,
Same.
I'm just like, this is crazy.
Same.
And then, like you said, you have those moments where somebody comes along and they're just like, this is insane what you're doing. Like, this is really cool. And then it makes me kind of, like you said, in a good way, I'm like, yeah, to me, because it's just another day. Like, I'm like, I've been in this office, like, for like a month straight. Like, this is normal. But then somebody kind of gives you that moment to step back. That's social proof.
Yes.
And you're just in that headspace of, oh, crap. Like, damn, I have come a long way.
Yeah.
Like, it is real. And people experiencing it for the first time are acknowledging, like, how cool it is.
And you know what? I think it's really important to allow yourself to be proud and recognize your efforts when someone acknowledges your efforts and gives you that compliment. Because there's a lot of people that will just like brush it off and they'll act like it's no big deal. But you deserve that as an individual, to feel proud of what you've been doing and what you have created, and that will allow you to continue going and going and going. And it's like the same thing. This is kind of like completely different, but also similar in the same way.
Okay.
But like if you're out to eat and someone out of the kindness of their hearts, they want to pay for the bill and cover the bill, and you're like, no, like, no, you cannot do that. By you deflecting their nice act, that's taken away from them. Like they're trying to do something to give, like that's helping them as an individual.
Yes.
And by you saying no and deflecting that, as much as you want to be like a good person and that's like the right thing for you to do, I believe that it's actually not the right thing for you to do, because someone's trying to do an act of kindness, and that can give back to them to do a little bit more in this world.
So that's definitely something that I've been working a lot on. So it's funny that you bring it up right now, especially from opening the business and just in general overall, for all of those exact reasons, where it's, you know, before I would have been that person that's like, no, you're not paying. Like, I got it. Like, we're good.
Yeah.
Whereas like there are times now where out of courtesy, you know, like you don't have to, you were not obligated. And then if you even just one more time are like, no, I got it. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And then I just know next time, like, it's on me. And you also in turn know that, like, I'm repaying the favor. Yes. It will happen eventually. Yes. This is your moment. Yes. I appreciate you. Like, yes. It's very important. And then also the side of taking compliments. Mm-hmm. It's hard. You get uncomfortable. You know what I mean? People are coming in and you're like, you're doing this, you're doing that. And it's just from like an attention standpoint, you get shy, you're uncomfortable, all the spotlight's on you. And even though it's a good thing, you're kind of like, you turtle shell, because you're like, no, it's good. Like, it's not that important. You're like, I'm cool. Like, it's just, you know, I'm just anybody else. I'm a regular individual. And you're doing it from a good place. Like you said, your intentions are to say, like, I'm no different than anybody else. Mm-hmm. I'm just being consistent right now. But it takes away from that person's compliment to you, where they wanted to do a nice thing for you. Mm-hmm. And then you're kind of deflecting it and just saying, I'm okay. Unintentionally, I'm telling you that compliment isn't what I want right now. So.
It goes a really long way, and I think that's something that I underestimated for a very long time. But in order to allow yourself to keep going forward, you deserve to just, you know what? You're right.
That's exactly, dude.
You're right. You know what? You're right. You know what? I am doing a great job, and if I don't think that, I'm going to remind myself again, I am doing a great job. I've been showing up for myself every single day, working towards this. Let me pat myself on the back. Let me tell myself that I'm proud of myself. I think that we all should be our biggest fans. Yep. At all times.
100%.
Because you're just, like, it's just you. At the end of the day, it's just you. So if you're not okay with being your biggest fan, who's going to be? Yeah. You have to believe in yourself. You have to give yourself the love, the kudos as much as possible, because If not you, then who?
Fair
If
point.
not you, then who?
We're going to jump into the Gymshark side of things.
Let's do it.
The manifestation behind
Let's do it.
Your beliefs on it.
Let's do it.
Where did it start? How did we get to
Let's do it. Let's do it. Delusion. One word, delusion. I told myself that if I wanted to achieve something that I've never achieved before, I had to believe in myself and act in a way that I never have before. And I just wanted to experience going all in on something for once in my life, because I would always half-ass my potential, and it's not a good feeling knowing that you're capable of so much and stopping and not giving something your 110%. And again, you have to break the mental barriers. I told myself I want to be vulnerable. I want people to feel inspired. So I have to be kind of crazy. I have to be a psychopath. So I just remember sitting in my car one day. It was about 5:45 a.m. I just got done a cold plunge. I saw on my Instagram that all of the Gymshark athletes were at an event. They have their lift events. And I just was like watching it on my phone, frustrated. I should be there. I said I was going to be a Gymshark athlete for 5 years. I knew that I could do this. Why? What is it that I'm doing wrong? Why can't I make this happen?
Yeah.
And something clicked in that car at that time where my brain started to just like rewire, and I just was like, you're going to go for it. And right now, you're going to record yourself speaking, saying that you're going to be a Gymshark athlete. I felt compelled to do it. And I always listen to my intuition when I feel very, very compelled to do something. So I recorded that video, just brought out my phone. I said it with as much faith, honesty, and belief as I possibly could in that moment. And I just said, in the year 2025, I am a Gymshark athlete. I'm traveling the world, doing all the biggest events. I don't care what it's going to take. The world will know me for my message, my positivity, my beliefs, my mind. I know that I am different from all the other individuals, and I can bring something completely unique to the table in my own way, and I'm going to go for it right now. And I posted that video before the announcement came out that they were doing the challenge. About a week, 2 weeks after I posted that video.
The timing was crazy.
Timing was divine. I believe that coincidences are not a thing. Divine timing is real, which is why I felt it. I get chills thinking about this, Ty, because I felt it to my bones that this had to be my moment. It had to be my moment. And they announced that they were looking for 2 new athletes, and they were doing the Gymshark 66 challenge. And I just started smiling. I knew that it had to be me. I knew it. I commented on that post as soon as Gymshark posted it. I said, mark this message. In the year 2025, I am a Gymshark athlete. Posted it on my story. Ain't no one believe me. Everyone thinking I'm crazy. Everyone thinking I'm crazy. Who is this guy? Less than 10,000 followers from New Jersey. Who is this guy? How is he going to get picked up from Gymshark? But you know what? I believed it in my heart, to my core, unwavering belief. I knew it deep down that this was my moment, and I was going to go for it, and I was going to stand for something for once in my life to a level that I never have before, because I want everyone else to be able to do that, because we deserve to feel that way. And from that day forward, I signed the contract with myself. I said, every single day I'm showing up, and I'm going to work my absolute butt off. I'm going to work harder than ever before. I'm going to make sure I work harder than anyone, because I know that I can make this happen if I believe in myself. And I just did not stop. I did whatever it took. But again, I didn't know how I was going to get there. I just had the belief and the delusion. And I believe that you get rewarded on your path just by starting. And I always say fast is better than perfect. And if you can just get yourself to start, you'll be rewarded with the ideas and the creativity along the way. I was rewarded with ideas along the way because it was a testament of my will, my spirit, my strength in the beginning. So throughout the entire challenge, I found a bunch of different ways to stay consistent and make people want to stay along throughout the journey and want to support and believe in me. One of those things being, I told everyone that if I don't hit the numbers strength-wise at the end of the challenge, that I'm going to shave my head.
Yeah.
I was all in.
Yeah.
But again, that's where it had to come from, because I realized, like, what's one thing that I love? My hair. I'm going to be completely honest. I take a lot of pride in my hair. It took me a long time to grow this out. Dude. It has come a long way. But if I wanted to make it happen, I had to go all in. And I said I was going to shave my head if it didn't happen. I meant that. I stamped that. I said I was going to shave my head. I did not want my head shaved at all, bro. Oh my gosh. I thought about it every day. Every day.
Out of all the fears to have.
Oh my gosh. Seriously. But that lit a fire underneath my butt. And then also putting it all on the line and just seeing how far I could believe in myself. How much can I actually believe in myself? So then after all that happened, I decided to put in my Instagram bio, in the year 2025, I am a Gymshark athlete. I stamped it. I put it in my bio. I wrote it down every single day. I thought about it as soon as I woke up. I thought about it once I went to bed. I visioned it. I just became obsessed with the idea of it happening because I knew that it was possible. It just was all depending on how much I could see it. Because I always say, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. I always say that. Shout out to Bob Proctor. And I just held that in my mind the entire time. But I really do believe the reason why it happened was because I believed in it more than absolutely anyone did. And when you believe in yourself more, people start believing in you more. And 100%. It all depends on how much you believe in yourself. And that creates the ripple effect. So to be able to put myself on the line and be vulnerable, I feel like it was only a matter of time for something really good to happen to me because I did the work and I opened up and talked about things that I never have before in my entire life, like my best friend committing suicide. That was something that I always held in and I never felt comfortable speaking about. But I know that if I want to make something like this happen, I had to be vulnerable and I had to open up and share some of my hardest stories. I had to talk about my childhood. I talked about how Gymshark had a Lift Miami event and I couldn't afford to go there because I couldn't afford to miss out on work.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people watching this, they might think that I have everything figured out and that I'm all good. As of right now, like, I'm still figuring everything out, just like you behind the phone watching this, behind the screen, just like you're figuring this out. I still bust my ass working 40, 50 hours a week, serving tables at a restaurant to fuel the social media dream. I'm not this perfect guy who has these huge sponsorships, who gets paid for these photo shoots, who gets to do this or that, you know, like I'm still absolutely grinding to make this building. Yeah, exactly. But people want to see that, bro, because you're in the process. And the more that you work and build, you begin to realize that people just want to see you stand for something. And I realized that. And I just wanted to stand for something for once in my life. And I got rewarded for it, man.
Yeah, you and I have talked about manifestation before.
Big believer in manifestation. Is the realest thing in the entire world.
So I absolutely am. We've talked about, I say manifestation always has a little asterisk around it. And being very logical, you can ask Umar, anybody close to my circle, they always make fun of me because I'm very I compute everything. Yeah. Things are calculated. So I always say manifestation is real, right? The same way you spoke Gymshark into existence.
Yep.
I spoke the IV clinic into existence. I had to talk about it. But the asterisk within manifestation is it still takes the hard work and consistency. And that's where the manifestation paid off for it. You acted on the words that you spoke. Like you said, you gave yourself hard goals, things that were going to force you to stay consistent. Yep. And a lot of people, I think, have an expectation that just because I speak about it, I deserve it. You earned it. Mm-hmm. And there's a very big distinction between the two. I
completely agree.
And you did a great job at that. And as you said, I mean, delusion at first, you look insane. You are wrong 99% of the time until you are right that one time.
Yep.
And you were building it, and then we all were watching, and everyone in the background was like, holy shit, I think Kyle really has a shot at this. Like, there is no coincidence anymore. It was delusion. It is now real, and you have willed it into existence, which was awesome.
You will it into existence, and that is the coolest thing about this, because you really do have the power to create your own reality. You have the power to create the life for yourself that you have always envisioned, you always wanted, but it comes from the work. You can't just visualize something and not actually do what needs to be done. And I think what changed for me was when I just thought a lot about, if I was this person who I've always wanted to become, what would he be doing on a day-to-day basis? How would he treat himself? How would he treat others? What actions would he take every single day to ensure that he's getting to where he needs to get to and checks off every single box? And then once I had that conversation with myself, I just stepped into that person and embodied what I thought at that time that that person should be doing. And for me, it was overcoming a lot of my fears that held me back. Strength training scared the crap out of me for a very long time, to opening up and talking about a lot of really difficult things that happened in my life that I grew from and how I grew from them. And just fully allowing myself to step into that person and sharing it, because that's what I thought that person would be doing if he were to achieve what he wanted to achieve.
Yeah, that's amazing. What does a day look like for you currently as you're building all of it up? You got the social media. You are the Gymshark athlete. You're prepping for a bodybuilding show that you are close to a month out from.
Yes, sir.
Which is sick.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
What does your day-to-day life look like currently? Maybe more like a summarized version on a week-to-week basis even.
Sure.
Balancing it all.
Sure. Balance has definitely been more difficult now than ever for me, just because of how busy I am and how close to the show that I've been. Mm-hmm. But I would say trying to wake up as early as I can. Some days it's more difficult now just because I get done working at the restaurant super late because it's summertime and I don't get out of there until like 1 o'clock. So
wow. Okay.
Right now it's just not as realistic for me to be waking up at 5, 6 like how I have been.
Yeah.
I would love to, but I'm just not there yet with what it is that I'm doing. So getting up as soon as I wake up, as soon as these feet touch the ground, I just go right to gratitude. And I just try and say as many things that I am thankful for as intentionally as I possibly can, because that sets the entire tone for my day. And on the days that I don't do that, they're completely different days. No doubt about that. So as soon as I wake up, feet hit the ground, gratitude, huge into hydration. I'll go directly downstairs and I'll just rehydrate. So I'll do some branched chain amino acids with some alkaline water, drink that. Go right outside. I'm big advocate for getting sun exposure in the morning, grounding in the morning. So I'll just go outside, walk, make sure that my feet touch the ground, get some sun on my body, take some steps, and then I'll do like my visualization for the day and what it is that I want to achieve. Just make sure that I remind myself of that constantly. I have like this thing in the morning where there's a gentleman, his name is Charlie Rocket. I'm a huge fan of him, but I got this from him. He talks about being on a winning streak. And I'm sure you've probably like always heard me say like, I'm on a winning streak. I'm on a winning streak. Yep. That's like his mantra. And I've been like obsessed with it. So like part of his morning routine is visualizing everything that he wants to achieve in his life as soon as he wakes up. So when I go outside and I do like my walk, I'll take some time for myself just to really visualize the person that I want to become. And that really does help me. It just puts me in the right state of mind. And then I just try and attack the day with as much power and intention as possible. But long story short, I just try mastering myself in the morning so that way when I go out into the world and I have interactions with people or I do anything, I'm coming from the best possible place that I can.
Yeah.
So meditation, journal, breath work, hydration, prayer, that's all done first thing in the morning. And then prepping all of my meals, making sure everything is dialed down to the T. Currently doing 65 minutes of cardio every single day on the stair stepper. It's brutal, but job's getting done.
So you're looking great, man.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. And then, just training, eating, making sure that my diet's on point while just trying to learn as much as I can while I have time throughout the day, and record, capture, edit as much as I possibly can, and then work at the restaurant around 3, go to bed around 1, wake up at 7, do it all again. Just try and give each day my absolute all.
That's dope, man. What do you do on the days that you don't either have as much fuel in the tank, or 2, you just don't have the time? Realistically, for the people out there, you know what I mean? That's a great day. Knowing you're probably fairly consistent on it, almost, I'd say probably 80% of the time.
Yeah.
But on the days that we talk about that aren't as easy, where do you start to make the sacrifices in a day like that?
I would say I just try giving back to myself in small ways, whether that's allowing myself to have more time to sleep in a little bit, knowing that my body's really tired, or allowing myself to go out in the public, and I don't know, do something nice for myself, whether that's just like going to a coffee shop and just like taking my morning a little bit more slow and just like settling down, reading a little bit more, spending time with my friends or my family members just to give back to myself, because there's a lot of days where you wake up and you know that you don't have as much time as you want to, and then you put a lot of pressure on yourself to try and show up in ways that you can't.
Yeah.
So to just allow myself to slow down a little bit more and to nurture myself allows me to prepare for the next day where I do have more time, more energy, and more strength, I would say.
Okay.
Is just try and just whatever I can do
Whatever
to just
feels like that day is the needed
yeah,
thing.
well, whatever I can do to just give back to myself in a little bit so that way I can show up for myself a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's just what I tried doing. I'm very intuitive. Like if I just want to like go take a car ride in 30 minutes and just put the windows down and just blast music and just sing it, and that'll make me feel good for the rest of the day, I'll do that. If I just want to stay home and just like read and just like chill, I'll do that.
Nice. Yeah. It's good to kind of see that side too. I like, as I said, I'm sure you're pretty dialed with your practices. Clearly, you actively do them as we're having the conversation. But it's always nice to see like where, we're in a realistic world. Obviously, you have to make sacrifices. There's certain things that you don't get to do all the time. So it's nice to kind of see how you navigate that, picking and choosing. Like, okay, this is a moment where I don't have the time, but I can still give myself a little bit. And
admittedly, it's really hard, especially when you're a person who's very ambitious and you're trying to build. And that's something that I'm still working through, because there are a lot of days where like I don't rest nowhere as near as I should be, because you think that you should be doing all of these things. But it reminds me of this Jay Shetty quote that I love.
Love Jay Shetty.
Big Jay Shetty fan, man. He said, on the days where you feel that you don't have time to meditate, that's when you need to meditate twice as long. And same thing with the days where you feel like you don't have enough time to give back to yourself. If you're already waking up in that anxious state of mind, that should be your constant reminder to double down and give more to yourself that day, because there's no reason why you should be thinking that way. I mean, there is a reason why, because we're human and that's just how the brain works and how life works. But double down on giving back to yourself when you think that you shouldn't on a day.
Beautiful. 3 more questions for you.
3 more questions.
Some big ones.
Come on, big questions.
One being, what does the next year look like for Kyle Massi? What are the big goals? What are we looking at down the line?
Oh, baby. My biggest goal that I have for myself is to move out of my hometown and establish myself in another area.
Why?
Because I just feel that my hometown has been holding me back personally. I love New Jersey. I love all the people that I am fortunate enough to have here, but I want to be able to experience living in a different area, meeting new people, challenging myself more, and being able to just travel more. I'm such a creative person that when I just stay in the same routine and I do the same thing over and over and over again, it's more difficult for me to find the creative juice.
Okay.
And I want to just be as creative as possible. So
light that artistic fire.
Yeah, I'm aware of myself and I'm aware of my tendencies, and I know what I need and how I thrive. So I don't know where I'm going to move to yet, but I know that I will be moving, and I'm speaking that into existence, and to start a brand somehow, some way. My mantra has always been passion goes places. I want to do something with that. Do I know how? No. But I just want to document either doing something with passion goes places or all of the traveling and really just building something absolutely ginormous that is more me, and to challenge myself to be more than fitness. I'd say that's moving, starting more of a brand, personal brand, and challenging myself. It's not even challenging myself, just allowing myself to be more than fitness are
Grow in a new way.
yes. I am so much more than fitness, and I love bodybuilding, don't get me wrong, but I'm not a bodybuilder. I don't want to be known as a bodybuilder. I want to be known as someone who can leave a long-lasting impact through like my actions and my words. How can I do that? I'm still finding out and I'm still discovering, but I love just being able to help and to be of service. So if I can travel the world and do, I don't know, like mission trips somehow and give back, spend a month here somewhere, spend a month there somewhere and document it while building something, that'd be like a dream come true. And that's what I'm working towards, because I have put myself in a bubble being in fitness and being in the bodybuilding scene. And I'd say that's a reason why I want to challenge myself to adventure out of New Jersey, because honestly, all of my close friends who I love so dearly and to death, they're all mostly bodybuilders.
Yeah.
And I want to be more. I want to be Kyle Massi, and I want to be able to embrace myself and show way more than just fitness.
Yep.
So those are like the big three for me.
That's dope.
And to take YouTube very seriously, that has been the biggest goal for me. Like, I'm obsessed with YouTube, and I just, if I could be doing one thing, it would be
vlogging would be great for you.
It would be making the best YouTube videos.
Yeah.
So I'm figuring out how I can do that and the steps that I can take.
Yeah, vlogging would be great for you.
Yeah.
To take along on your journey, just
Yep.
like what you do, what you embody, everything like that.
Yeah, just sharing how I...
Super exciting.
I love having meaningful conversations with people and picking people's brains and growing as an individual. So to be able to travel and have these meaningful conversations and storytell in a way that's authentic and pure and put that out there for other people to challenge themselves to grow and open up as an individual, that's like what Passion Goes Places stands for. It's like allow myself to be uncomfortable finding my passion, because there's always something to be passionate about. Am I passionate about fitness and bodybuilding? Yes, but I know that there's so much more. And if I want to find more passion in my life and with what I am that I'm doing, I need to put myself out there more, and I need to embrace more discomfort. So allow this passion to go places, you know?
And for my next question, what does Passion Goes Places mean to you?
Yes, so passion goes places means following your heart and really just sticking with that thing that you've always wanted to do when you were a little kid, regardless of what anyone has to say, regardless of what anyone has to think. Allowing yourself for once in your life to take that leap of faith and go for it when it makes you feel uncomfortable, when all of the odds are stacked against you, but you just know that you love something so much and that everything else will follow because you're deciding to follow your passion and what you're passionate about. Because from my experience, I can go forever when I'm fired up about what it is that I'm doing, which for me, it's helping people and it's making people smile, feel empowered, and sharing my thoughts, my actions, and my words. If I'm doing all of that, I can go nonstop, and it has to go somewhere because I'm so fired up about what it is that I'm doing. And being able to just pursue that thing that lights your heart on fire, it's the best feeling in the world. And it's always taking me somewhere. So just listening to that internal compass, because it's always guiding you. Because you always, I really do believe each of us is here to do something incredible. You just have to give yourself time to figure out what that is, and then find the courage in yourself and love to go for it relentlessly.
That's great stuff, dude. And lastly, my final question to you in Infused Conversations, personal signature question. If you could infuse one mindset into everyone, what would it be?
To believe in yourself. Absolutely. Believe in yourself when all the odds are stacked against you. Believe in yourself in the hardest of times. Believe in yourself when you have nothing in the tank, because the more that you do, the more you will be able to achieve. But it has to start with you. And it's cliche. A lot of people say this, but nobody's coming to save you. You have to be your best friend, and you have to be your number one supporter. So the more that you can pick yourself up when you fall down, the more that you can pat yourself on the back, the more zest, energy, courage, enthusiasm that you can inject into your body, into your mind, into your heart on a day-to-day basis, that's going to allow you to believe in yourself a little bit more. And believing in yourself always helps other people. And I just want everyone to remember that, because the more that you see it for yourself, the more another person is going to be able to see it for themselves. And they're going to want to go for it a little bit more, because they're going to be like, you know what? If he can do something, I can do something too. And that's all that I've ever wanted to do, was just allow people to find that fire in themselves to go for it, because we're all here for each other. So best believe I'm a believe in myself, so that way I can help other people believe in myself.
Dude,
I'd say that's it.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, brother.
Great conversation.
It's been a blast.
Oh, dude, it was very authentic.
It was,
helped
for
me
sure.
Realize some things.
Me too.
I'm excited to see how your content progresses moving forward.
Thank you, brother. I'm excited to see how
your
you
journey.
progress.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
And for those that have made it up to this point, thank you for listening in to Infused Conversations, where we talk about health, success, entrepreneurship, and the real work behind it all, one infusion at a time. You can listen to us on Spotify and YouTube, and go give my man Kyle Massi a file.
Come on. Give my man a follow.
Passion goes places.
Passion goes places,
See
baby.
you next episode.
Woo! My man. Money.
That was great.
Come on.